What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I just want to ask everyone to take a second and press F to pay respects.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
What are you paying respects to? Well, right now, you're paying respects to my retired Xbox One. That's right, it's not dead, it's retired. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I usually retire a console after the successor comes out, and no games worth playing or worth releasing come out on the previous console. For example, when the Xbox One released, I kept my Xbox 360 still around for about 6 months because there were still some games to play and there were still some games coming out and all that. And eventually it got retired and that got put into the collection and all that stuff. And now it only comes out maybe once a year when I have a real hankering to play something, which is, to be honest, probably Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. You should still vote for that on backwards compatibility, by the way. Although it kind of won't make sense because, well, you'll see why now. But in the case of the Xbox One, I have finally had enough. I've said that's it, enough is enough, and my Xbox One is officially retired. It's been removed from my entertainment center under my TV. It is now no longer connected. It's not even in the same room. It's actually in the other room with all my collectible stuff, and it's there sitting on a shelf, which is basically all it's useful for nowadays, as something to take up space. Now, why is that the case, and why do I feel like that about the Xbox One? Well, we won't even go into the whole deal about how it was flubbed since essentially announcement and flubbed since launch, and how it's been slacking and behind the entire time in the console war, if you will. To me, it comes down to a state of use, and is it worth it? Frankly, at this point, my Xbox One isn't worth owning. I feel right now that I shouldn't have bought it, and that it was a mistake to spend the money on the console, even back when I did, and just the money on the games. And that's a really harsh statement coming from someone like me, because I generally consider consoles to be somewhat of an investment. Sure, if you buy a console on day one, for a while there might not be too much to play, but over time, over the course of the generation, there usually builds up enough games to actually make it worthwhile to having bought it originally. Sure, you can wait longer and buy it later when there's more games, or a hardware revision, or a different model of the console or whatever, and it would probably even possibly be a little bit cheaper. But usually there's something I want to play at the start and I go from there. Not 100% the smartest thing to do, but that's how I justify it anyway. So up until right now, I've only ever looked at one console I've ever bought and over the course of its entire lifespan, having justified being not worth it. And no, it wasn't the Sega Dreamcast, because believe it or not, the Dreamcast actually had many amazing games on it. But that console was the Nintendo Wii U, something I've been actively pretty vocal about hating, how it's just a complete flop and a disgrace and should never existed, and it kind of come back and, bite Nintendo in the arse after they got a bit cocky over the Wii and just tried to capitalize on that by doing something very poorly, and it just kind of fell on its face. But even then, when you look at it, over the course of owning the Wii U, I consider it not worth it. Now, I have about, I think it was 17 Wii U games. But overall, I consider the console, with how much I spent on the console, how much I spent on the games, how infrequently I played the games on the console, and the relative quality of the whole deal, I consider the Wii U overall not worth owning, and it's kind of a regret in a sense. Sure, there's always that little bit where I wanted to play Mario and I wanted to play this or that and the other, but overall the console in general wasn't worth it. I was always on the verge of adding the Xbox One to that list of not worth it, if you will, and the Xbox One has finally officially made that list. Like I said, my Xbox One is no longer connected to my TV, it's now just taking up space in another room, and it will probably never be connected up and ever used again. There's many reasons that this whole thing actually happened, and let's face it, okay, yesterday was the second time I played my Xbox One in 2018. So the 2nd of March 2018 was the second time this year I played my Xbox One. That's how little use the console actually has to me. And in the state my Xbox One was in, the only two real things installed on it were the Master Chief Collection and Halo 5. There was a handful of backwards compatible games on there as well, but I never really actually properly played them. But when you look at it, there's absolutely no reason for me to own or play my Xbox One. All major upcoming games are coming to PC. Let's look at it this way real quick. I still play an okay amount of Gears of War 4. Of course, I play all of that on PC, which runs superior to the Xbox One X version. And remember, my Xbox One X broke and I got a full refund and never replaced it. Halo Wars 2, which I bought and have still never even played even once, all digital on PC. Really all my Xbox One is, or was I should say, was a Halo machine, and that really highlights the fact that Microsoft are absolutely lost. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They're cancelling games, they're closing studios. The few games they are making look awful, like Sea of Thieves, and what I like to call Crackdown 360. But it's just so mismanaged, and their IPs and all are so mismanaged and mishandled. It really feels like they just eventually, a couple of years ago at this point, just stopped trying. Because they know they couldn't catch up on the PS4. They know they couldn't get any ground back at all. And they just said, fuck it, we're not even going to try. And that's an extreme slap in the face to consumers and gamers like myself. And that comes back to the actual hardware side of it as well. We all know the Xbox One is underpowered. But what really set this whole thing off for me yesterday was knowing that, yes, first off, it's essentially a 2-game box for me. Because I have no plans to buy any Xbox One games in the future, be it third party because they will obviously run better on PC or PS4, and the first party ones will be on PC anyway, which will run vastly better. But I was playing a game of Halo 5 Guardians yesterday. I was playing a game of Warzone Firefight, and the console locked up on the post-game menu, something that is all too frequent between myself, all my friends and their various models of Xbox One, and even still happened back on Xbox One X. The console is poorly engineered, the games are poorly designed, and it's a damn shame to see that. To see Microsoft go so far down the ladder, when they had great consoles like their first original OG Xbox and the Xbox 360, both of which did so many things right in so many different ways. And now we have the Xbox One, which can't even barely run its first party games properly. And on top of that, you have 343 Industries destroying one of my favorite franchises. It reeks of mismanagement and poor engineering. Microsoft are going to have an exceptionally hard sell with their next console, and they have no one to blame but themselves. And that's a damn shame to see. So all I can say really is that while every so often I may get a little bit of a pang or a twinge to actually play Halo, be it the Master Chief Collection or Halo 5, until that comes to PC, it's just not happening. I have no reason to connect up my Xbox One, and I have no reason to play it probably ever again. Lord knows I won't be buying any games on it ever again, which is all a damn shame. So that's it, the Xbox One is essentially no more. It joins the Wii U on the list of consoles that frankly weren't worth it and I basically wish I never wasted my money on. And it's a sad day to see Microsoft be so mismanaged and so unhinged when it comes to their gaming division at this point. So what do you think? Do you think I'm justified? Do you think I'm overreacting or whatever it is? Because let's face it, I play games on everything, so I need reasons to play them on Xbox One. I currently have no reasons. Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think it's justified? Do you feel the same way? Have you done something similar with the Xbox One or a different console? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments section below. And remember, leave an F to pay respects in the comments section too. Hit the appropriate button to let me know how I did on the video, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.